In this session, Intro to Structured Literacy, What, Why, and How, we'll explore what structured literacy is, why it's so crucial in today's educational landscape, and how you as paraprofessionals play a vital role in its implementation. Your work not only supports teachers, but also directly impacts student success. Structured literacy is an approach that offers clear, systematic instruction in reading. It's all about breaking down the complex process of learning to read into manageable pieces, making it accessible for all learners. Before we take a deeper dive into this session, I want you to think about what comes to mind when you hear the word literacy. Take a moment to jot that down. Pause the video now. Resume the video when you have finished. Paraprofessionals, your role in literacy success is invaluable and deserving of recognition. You're not just assisting, your daily interactions with students are pivotal in their reading journey. By collaborating with teachers, you ensure that learning environments are not only consistent, but also supportive, allowing every student to thrive. Let's talk about why your role truly matters. First, supporting teacher-led lessons with consistency aids in reinforcing instruction. This ensures that students receive a uniform message, making it easier for them to grasp new concepts. Second, by providing practice opportunities and keeping students focused, you're supporting engagement. This engagement is crucial for maintaining student interest and motivation in their learning journey. Lastly, implementing accommodations and encouraging independence builds strong confidence. Your efforts empower students to believe in their own abilities and take charge of their learning. True or false? Most children learn to read naturally, just like they learn to talk. False. Let's look at some insights from research. Reading is not an inherent skill. It requires direct instruction. Many students benefit from direct instruction. Some students may need additional intensive support. When we compare reading to language acquisition, learning to speak differs significantly from learning to read. Reading needs to be taught in an explicit, systematic manner. Students with dyslexia and other reading challenges often require structured, explicit instruction. Let's begin with a simple yet effective exercise to help us visualize the reading process. First, place your index finger at the top of your left ear and draw the letter C around your ear. This motion symbolizes the reading pathway, illustrating how information travels as we read. In an experienced reader, this pathway is traversed in just half a second. That's how quickly our brain can process reading. This efficiency is what we refer to as the reading brain. It's an entire network working seamlessly to decode and understand text. Understanding this pathway helps us appreciate the complexity and speed of reading, setting the stage for improving reading skills. Now let's look at the simple view of reading. You notice the equation. The first is word recognition. The second is language comprehension. And finally, reading comprehension. Notice in the middle that this is a multiplication problem. So if you have a slight issue in one domain, the whole equation falls apart. So for instance, if I have 0 word recognition, but I have strong language comprehension, I still have 0 in reading comprehension. I will give you a moment to look at the differences. You cannot understand what you read if you cannot read the words. Additionally, you cannot understand what you read if you have a weak understanding of language. Both components of the simple view of reading are important to understand what you read. This leads us to Scarborough's reading rope. So if we think about the simple view of reading is the what, the rope is the how. Notice how the top strands, language, and the bottom strands, word recognition, have to weave together. When a reader is fluent, it's because these strands have become a single strong cable. If a student is struggling, our job is to figure out which specific thread is fraying so we can tie it back together. The why behind structured literacy. Structured literacy benefits emerging readers, struggling readers, students with dyslexia, multilingual learners, students receiving special education services. In summary, structured literacy supports all learners. It is particularly effective for students who struggle with reading, and it helps students develop strong word reading and language comprehension skills. Take a moment to complete this sentence. A student may struggle with reading because. Pause video now to complete the sentence. The building blocks of structured literacy. Phonology, sound symbol correspondence, syllables, morphology, syntax, and semantics are all foundational elements of structured literacy. Each play a vital role in developing reading skills. Let's take a deeper dive. Phonology focuses on understanding the sounds within words, which is crucial for effective communication. Sound symbol correspondence, on the other hand, is about linking these sounds to their respective letters, forming a bridge between spoken and written language. Syllables are the building blocks of words, breaking them down into manageable parts, while morphology delves into the meaningful components of words, enhancing vocabulary and comprehension. Syntax, which governs sentence structure and semantics, is concerned with the meaning of words in text. This rounds out the essential skills needed for literacy. Together, these elements create a comprehensive framework known as the building blocks of structured literacy. Take a moment to think. Which of these elements do you hear most often talked about in the classroom? What is structured literacy? Structured literacy is explicit skills are taught directly, systematic, instruction flows and follows a plan, sequential, skills move from simple to complex, cumulative, previously taught skills are continuously reviewed, diagnostic, instruction responds to student performance, and finally responsive, teaching adjusts based on student needs. Let's take a deeper look at your role. Paraprofessionals play a critical role in the structured literacy instruction. You will help reinforce teacher-led instruction, providing continuity and ensuring that students receive the same quality of education and instruction. This is crucial for student success. It is so important that students are provided guided practice opportunities. This helps students apply what they've learned by offering additional practice. This practice helps solidify students' understanding and supports their progress. Encouraging student participation. This helps to foster an inclusive, engaging environment by actively involving all students, which fosters a more dynamic and interactive learning experience. As paraprofessionals, you ensure that all students, especially those with specific needs, have equal access to learning by implementing necessary accommodations. Finally, by keeping track of student involvement, paraprofessionals can provide valuable feedback to teachers and help adjust instruction as needed to maintain student interest and participation. Fidelity does matter. What does it mean? Doing what is planned the way it was intended. Consistency in instruction helps students build reliable skills and confidence. When lessons are delivered as designed, students receive the structured support they need to succeed. Think about this. Why might consistency matter for students who struggle with reading? Accommodations versus modification. Accommodations remove learning barriers in the classroom. Modifications change what a student is taught and expected to do in the class. Let's take a deeper dive. This chart breaks down accommodations versus modifications. So let's look at the accommodation side first. Accommodations, a strategy used to help a student with learning, needs access to the same curriculum as his peers. Versus a modification, a strategy used to help a student with learning needs to achieve the same curriculum as his peers. In the accommodation side, curriculum learning expectations and outcomes are the same. When it's modified, learning expectations and outcomes are different. An accommodation occurs in the general education classroom. Modifications also occur in the general education classroom. What can accommodations look like? Tools, materials, technology, visual aids, physical space, and timing are used to help the student access the curriculum. Modifications are tools, materials, technology, visual aids, physical space, and timing used to help the student achieve the curriculum. On the accommodation side, grading is the same. However, on the modification side, grading is different and appropriate to the student's specific developmental level and learning needs. A quick scenario. What would you do? A student is struggling to read a passage independently. What might you do? Read every word for them? Encourage use of taught decoding strategies? Skip the activity, give them the answers. Take a moment to think about what you would do. Pause video now, resume when you know. So the correct answer is encourage use of taught decoding strategies. That could look like modeling or helping them work through the decoding strategy itself. Key takeaways. Structured literacy is explicit, systematic, sequential, effective for all students. Paraprofessionals support success by following instructional plans, reinforcing learning, implementing accommodations, and maintaining fidelity. Reflection and closing. Take a moment to reflect on this session. Quickly jot down one thing that you learned today and one thing you can apply tomorrow. Pause video now to answer that question. Thank you for joining today's session. Thank you for your commitment to supporting students in their literacy journey. Your dedication makes a difference every day.